Yeah. Yeah. Turn me up a little. Choo. Whoa. Hey. Yeah. Walking, I am calm, but the message loud. No circus talk, I do not play for crowd. I do not chase clicks, I chase clarity. Truth with the rhythm, that is therapy. If it feel heavy, that is how it lands. Real life questions in the palm of your hand. We talk love, we talk pain, we talk pride, we talk what folks hide when they outside. This that head nod, mind open, say it straight, no fine print. If it hit you, do not rush, let it sit, let it sink in. Chew on that. Real talk, real issue, where the truth stay at. No smoke, no mirrors, just the facts. If it spark that thought, bring it back. You need to digest this. Chew on that. You need to digest it. Chew on that. Everybody gotta take, I gotta land. I ask one question, then I ask again. What you believe and why you believe it? Who fed it to you? Did you ever read it? We do not do beef, we do not do hate, we do not do fake peace just to feel safe. We dig in deep, then we pull it up. Turn hard conversations into grown love. Breathe. Let it play, if it cut you, it can heal the same. If you're ready for the work, let me see you stand. If you're ready for the truth, put your heart in your hands. Oh, chew on that. Real talk, real issue, where the truth stay at. No smoke, no mirrors, just a fact. If it spark that thought, bring it back. You need to digest this. Chew on that, on that. Yeah, you need to digest it. Chew on that. Digest this.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo on that. And I have a slapper for you today. Today's topic is going to be something that I'm not going to even waste your time getting to. Usually I do books and business, all of those things. I'll plug that stuff in later. But here it is. We're on episode 9 of the Choo on That show. If you're listening on the Block 105 radio, please make sure you go to YouTube, type in True Radio Network, subscribe to my channel. For those that are watching on the YouTube and Facebook, make sure that you share, like, subscribe, hit the notification bells, comment below to let me know that you are digging the topics that I'm producing. We'll get some entertainment and things in here sooner or later. Well, right now, I just want to continue to stimulate your mind and stimulate your thoughts because you've already been swamped with entertainment. Anyway, let's get down to today's topic. The death of discernment. When everybody has information, but nobody has wisdom and discretion. Discernment is becoming more valuable than the information itself. So let's talk about something real. We are living in a time where everybody has got something to say. But very few people have the wherewithal to actually sit down and think about what the heck they're saying. Everyone's got a platform. Everyone's got a microphone. Everyone's got a theory, a clip, a source, a screenshot, an opinion. But the question that I'm going to be asking you today is this: who actually has the wisdom? See, we talked about wisdom versus knowledge a couple episodes ago, right? If you missed that episode, go back to it. But who actually has wisdom? Because information is not wisdom. You can have a phone full of information, you can still be lost. You can have a timeline full of facts, and you can still be manipulated. You can have a timeline full of facts, I said, and still be manipulated. You can know every headline and still not understand what is happening behind the scenes or in the world around you or even in your mind. And that is the crisis that we are living in today. We are not suffering because we do not have access to information. We are simply suffering because we don't know how to process said information. We don't know how to test it. We don't know how to sit with it. We don't know how to separate truth from performance, wisdom from noise, confidence from credibility, and facts from emotional manipulation. And this is why discernment is dying. Not because people are dumb. Nah, not going to say that. Discernment is dying because people are being trained to react before they think. They are being trained to feel before they examine. They are being trained to repost before they do research, right? They are being trained to choose sides before they even understand the issue. That is not wisdom. That is programming. And today we're going to deal with it. So let's start right here, right? Everybody's informed, but everyone is not awake. So we have to stop confusing being informed with being awake or woken, so to speak, right? Because some people think that being awake means knowing the latest conspiracy, which I think you should know that. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But even still, people think that they're being awake, or they are awake or woken or enlightened, if you will. They think that it means distrusting everything. Not saying that. They also think it means being angry all the time, and I'm not saying that. Some people think that being awoke means they've watched a few documentaries, they got an understanding of history, they know a little bit about politics, medicine, theology, economics, the human nature, all of those things. Throw it in the trash. That's not what I'm talking about when I talk about being woke. That is being overstimulated. That is being emotionally activated. That is being fed content to keep your nervous system addicted to outrage. But the type of awakening that I'm talking about is not just knowing that systems exist. It's understanding how systems use your emotions against you. Because the system does not just control people through ignorance anymore. It's evolved. It's changed. It's grown in its manipulative tactics. It controls people through information overload now, not hiding information. It gives you so much data, so much information, so many opinions, compelling narratives that eventually you get tired of thinking clearly. Then you start choosing what feels right. You start to choose what confirms your already internal biases, and you start to choose the voices that sound the strongest. You start choosing the person who sounds the safest, the most certain. But certainty is not truth. I've said this so many times. Volume is not truth. Confidence is not truth. Popularity is not truth. And just because someone says something in a deep voice with dramatic music behind it does not mean that they are giving you wisdom. At the end of the day, you have to realize that the algorithm is not your teacher. Let's talk about this algorithm that I'm talking about. See, you're starting to notice that my shows are compiling upon one another, right? Because people do not realize that they are being discipled by their devices. I'm going to say that again, because back in the day, we used to be discipled by thought leaders and critical thinkers. Now you're discipled by your devices. Your phone is studying you. It studies what you pause on, what you argue with, what makes you mad, what makes you afraid, what makes you feel seen, what makes you feel superior. Then it feeds you more of it. So while you think you're chasing your thoughts are actually being shaped by a system designed to keep you engaged, not enlightened. Engaged. And that is the difference. The algorithm is not trying to make you wise at all. It's not trying to make you whole or balanced or make you honest. It is trying to keep your attention long enough to monetize your behavior. So when you say, I did my research, we have to ask, did you really research? Or did the algorithm take you on a guided tour through your own biases? Because there's a huge difference. Research requires discipline, and it also requires patience. It requires comparison. It requires humility. It requires the ability to say, I might be wrong. But algorithmic consumption does not require any of that. It requires you to keep scrolling. And that is where people are getting caught up. Not always by some lies or half truths or emotional framing or selective evidence. Sometimes by a person who knows exactly what pain point to touch in order to control your attention. Some of us are being manipulated by people who know us well enough to poke at the very thing that they know is going to get a certain type of response from you, because if they get that response from you, then they can control where your attention lies. Wherever you're at right now, if you're at work, in your car, if you're at home, wherever you're at, I want you to think about that. Who keeps poking at you and pain pointing and touching you internally to stimulate your thoughts and control your attention? Think about that for a moment. I want to talk about something that is so serious. That the most dangerous lies are sprinkled with a little bit of truth. This is how deception and manipulation works, right? Now listen to this. The most dangerous lie is not the lie that looks ridiculous. The most dangerous lie is the one that carries enough truth to get past your guard. And that, again, I will say unto thee, is how manipulation works. It does not come to you empty. It comes with a recipe to stir your emotions, a testimony to stir your emotions. It comes with clips to stir your emotions. It comes with statistics that they dress up to make seem like it fits this narrative, and it does not. That is what they do. It comes with a person saying, they don't want you to know this. Why not? Have you been surrounded by someone who is very secretive? Gotta ask yourself why. And once people hear that phrase, something happens. They feel special. They feel chosen. Oh my God, you want me to know this information? You want me to do this task? And then you give people the illusion that they feel like they have access to hidden information or hidden knowledge. But deep thinkers have to be careful right here. We do. Because sometimes people are not giving you the truth. They're selling you the feeling of being smarter than everyone else. They're selling you the illusion that you have insider information that no one else has. And it becomes a drug. And that drug is ego. And ego loves secret knowledge. Ego loves feeling like it sees what others cannot. Egos love being visionaries and leaders and top dog. The ego loves being the one who says, y'all are asleep, I'm awake. I can do this and that because I have this special access y'all don't. That's what ego do. But let me hit you with this question right here. Because despite what anyone says to you, you have to ask yourself this. Are you actually seeing clearly? Or are you addicted to feeling superior in some type of capacity? And when I say feeling superior, I mean, do you feel like you have insider information that makes you above someone else? Right? Makes you look at a person who really cares for you in a negative light because someone who don't care for you has manipulated your emotions into siding with them or even feeling like you have to choose sides. Because that's the difference between discernment and ego. Discernment makes you clearer. It cleans the fog from your mind. What ego does is makes the fog heavier. It makes things louder. Discernment makes you humble, makes you feel the emotions of what's going on with all parties involved. Ego makes you feel arrogant. I can't believe they're acting this way or they're doing that. That's ego. Discernment makes you patient. Ego makes you reactive. Discernment wants the truth. Ego wants to be right. Let's say that again. Discernment wants the truth, but ego wants to be right. Discernment says, where is accountability? Ego says, I'm superior to you. And that is why deep thinkers have to check themselves. Not just check the world, but check yourself. Right? Hope y'all getting something from this. Oh, man. This is profound. Let's look at it like this, right? We're living in an age where everyone is a fake expert. A person can watch 5 videos and all of a sudden they are a scholar or like they know this topic so well, right? They read 3 threads, a blog, and now they're an analyst. They hear 1 podcast and all of a sudden they're a historian. They saw a documentary and now they know more than the people who spent 20 years studying in that field. And here's the problem. The internet has made information accessible, which is good, but it has also made people confuse exposure with mastery. This is why when people say I've been doing something for 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, have you been doing it the right way and have you evolved in how you did it during that whole process? Because what is good 30, 20, 10, 50 years ago in that time may have been great before today. It could be trash. And just because you've been exposed to an idea does not mean you understand it. I'm going to say that again. Just because you've been exposed to an idea does not mean you understand it. Just because you can repeat a phrase does not mean you have processed the concept. Because you can quote something or quote a fact or whatever does not mean you know how to properly interpret it. And this is why we have a lot of fake experts walking around today. Those experts live in the gap between information and understanding. And the crazy thing about it is that social media rewards the gap. It doesn't reward understanding, because the person who sounds the most certain often gets more attention than the person who is careful, balanced, reserved, honest, and pulled back. But wisdom does not always sound entertaining. And this is why I approach things the way I do, especially on this platform. Wisdom pauses. Wisdom qualifies statements. Wisdom says, there is more to this. Wisdom says, let's look at the context. Wisdom says, I don't know enough yet. But you've been duped by your circle and the internet to say that things that are uncertain should be rewarded. And even when uncertainty feels like certainty, you don't see the danger in it. And so propaganda is the emotional engineering process in which you live your life. So let's go deeper, right? Because propaganda is not just somebody lying to you. Propaganda is the vehicle, the emotional engineering that shapes your perception through fear, outrage, repetition, identity, and selective information. Oh, so-and-so went off, right? Oh, man, why did they go off like that? And you have a whole dialogue and discussion about why they went off like that, as if being provoked is not a real thing. Selective information, right? It does not always have to give you something false. Sometimes it just gives you something that is very incomplete. They don't give you the full story. It is show your angle. They remove context completely, and they make one group look like the entire problem. And sometimes it makes you feel like your survival depends on believing that narrative. And once your emotions are activated, your critical thinking starts to go offline. You get married to a narrative. That's when fear becomes very powerful. That's when your outrage becomes powerful. That's when your tribalism and your allegiance to the wrong thing gets more powerful. Because when you fear something and you're afraid of it, you will accept it without trying to control it. Let me say it like this. When you are afraid, you will accept someone else controlling the narrative. When you're angry, you will stop listening. And when you feel attacked, you will defend the group that you're connected to, even if they are wrong. So discernment has to ask more than is it just true. Discernment, and those who have it, have to ask the questions like, why is this being shown to me this way? What emotion is trying to be produced out of this conversation? Who benefits the most from me feeling this way towards another individual? What action am I being pushed towards doing? Am I being informed, or am I being emotionally manipulated? And that is what deep thinking is all about. It's not just collecting facts, but it's examining the machinery that is pushing the facts to your face. You got to understand that. And this is something that you have to relearn over and over again, that you wanting to practice discernment is not paranoia. Let me say that again for those who need to hear it. You practicing discernment is not paranoia. It's not you being, oh my God, let me we have to make this distinction. We just have to, because discernment is very key to all of it, right? And some people think that being discerning means distrusting everybody or distrusting everything. And that's not discernment either. That is trauma with a great vocabulary. We're not going down that path. So some people call every single thing fake. They label every single thing that they see, and all that is fake. Sports is fake. The government is fake. The world is fake. The society is fake. The air is fake. Like, everybody's saying everything is fake. Nah, bro, it's not. They think everything is a setup. Everything is bought. Everyone's lying. Nobody can be trusted. And that sounds so deep that it's stupid. And sometimes that is just fear dressed up as intelligence. Discernment does not mean you believe nothing. Discernment means that you know how to test everything. There's a difference between not believing nothing and testing everything, because a gullible person believes too quickly. A paranoid person rejects too quickly. A discerning person examines carefully. Which one are you? The gullible person who believes too quickly? Are you the paranoid person who rejects too quickly? Or are you the discerning person that examines carefully? Which one are you? Where's your balance? Huh? You do not want to be so open-minded that anything can get in. But you also don't want to be so closed-minded that the truth can't reach you, bruh. Discernment is the discipline of staying open to the truth while refusing manipulation. Open yourself up to the truth, yet refuse the feelings of manipulation. You can feel when someone is manipulating you with a narrative. So let me put this in a framework for you, right? Let me put this in a framework for you. There's 4 levels of truth processing. Just 4 levels. But before I give you these 4 levels, we got to pay some bills. We're going to take a quick 2.2 minute break. And when I come back, I'm going to dive into said 4 levels of truth processing. We'll be right back after this quick 2.2. All right, we're back. So listen, the 4 levels of truth processing. When you hear something, don't just ask, again, is it true? Go through these 4 levels. Now, listen, you're going to want to take some notes on this one, right? Number 1, information, right? Let's talk about the information. What is being presented? What is the claim? What is the data? What is the overall headline of said discussion or information? What is the storyline that's being presented? And before you react, make sure you can clearly state what is actually being claimed to you, right? That's number 1, how you decipher the information. Number 2, the interpretation. How is this being framed? Because 2 people can present the same event, the same story, the same what happened, and lead you in 2 completely different conclusions. The facts may be real, but the frame may be manipulative. Number 3, motivation. Why is this being given to me? What is the goal of informing me of this? Is it to sell to me? Is it to scare me? Is it to recruit me? Is it to control me? Is it to make me angry, make me dependent, make me hate somebody, make me trust somebody without question? The motivation matters. I've heard this be said so many times that actions speak louder than words, but I've heard, shout out to Zoe Williams, he said it like this: intentions speak louder than actions, because I can behave to a certain pattern to fit your narrative. Anyway, let me go on. Number 4. What number 4 is the fruit, right? What is this producing in me? Is it bringing me clarity, or is it bringing me confusion? Is it bringing me wisdom, or is it making me feel arrogant? Is it giving me courage, or is it baptizing me in fear? Is it introducing a level of patience, or is it feeding my rage? Is it showing me responsibility, or is someone not taking accountability and playing the blame game? Is this real maturity, or is this chaos? Because some information may be technically accurate, but still toxic in how it is being used. And that is why the deeper questions is, what is this doing to my mind, my emotions, my character, and my relationships? So I got some discernment questions I want to throw at you, right? To kind of as a tool, so to speak, for you. Again, I'm just reiterating this information. What is actually being claimed? Don't react until you can explain what the person or the information that you're getting, you can explain the claim of it clearly to someone else. Who is making the claim? Is it third party? Is it he said, she said? Is it the victim? Is it the perpetrator? Who is it? A source is not automatically credible because they're confident or because they're your superior. What evidence is being offered? Emotion is not evidence. Volume is not evidence. A screenshot is not always evidence. What context is missing? And here's the key, because people will give you clips and snippets without the context to turn that clip and snippet into a weapon of manipulation. So then you got to ask yourself, who benefits if I really believe this, right? What is the benefit? Follow the incentive. What is this really doing? What would this really change? Why is this so important to you to share this information with me? What are you trying to produce in me? And are you trying to make me wiser, or are you trying to get me to react a certain way, to view somebody else a certain way? The death of discernment does not happen when people stop thinking. It happens when people think that they are thinking, but they're really reacting. It happens when people really think they're researching, but they're just consuming biased confirmation information. It happens when you are awakened to the reality that you are being led by fear. And when people think that they are free, but their emotions are being managed by systems that they do not completely understand. And that is why this conversation matters, and it's important, because in this age, the greatest danger is not that you don't know enough. The greatest danger is that you know a lot, but you don't know how to process what you do know. And that is how people become informed and deceived at the same time. That's how people become passionate and wrong at the same time. That is how people become loud but not wise. This is how the world does not need you to be louder, or people that you're listening to be louder. It needs for you to have discernment, and the people around you to have discernment. Discernment is a person who can pause, who can examine, who can think, who can say, I need more context, right? I need to know that you're not addicted to being right. I need to know that you love the truth and accountability more than your ego. But people who are not easily bought, baited, triggered, or hurted usually get outcasted. That's why they're rare today. And that's why discernment is becoming more valuable than information. So here's the challenge that I want to throw to you. Before you share it, test it. Before you believe it, examine it. Before you react, slow down. Before you accuse, get context. Before you trust a voice, inspect the motive. Before you let a narrative shape your worldview or how you view somebody, ask yourself, what is it doing to your mind? Because everybody has information now, right? It's a new trend. I know that I know that I know, but everybody does not have the wisdom or discernment. Everyone does not have the wisdom or the discernment. Everyone has access to information. But think to yourself, do everyone really have understanding of information? Everyone can repeat something. Everyone can be an echo. There's very few voices out there. And that's the line between being influenced and being awakened or enlightened to reality. Information is everywhere. Wisdom is rare. Discernment is the filter. And without that filter, your mind becomes public property. You become damaged goods, or you become the property of someone else's narrative. Let that sink in. Listen, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of those things. Thank you guys for listening, for tuning in. Follow me on Instagram at RTCJR_87. You dig? It's your boy Randy Choo, aka Mr. Choo on that. You can hate it, you can love it, but you definitely got to chew on this topic. Deuces.
Choo on that. We dug in deep, now let it breathe. Take what you need, leave what you do not. Real talk, real issues, no sleep. Truth in the tone, it hit or it did not. If it made you pause, that is a good sign. If it made you think, let it change your mind. Do not just scroll, do not just react. Sit with the weight, then move with the facts. Chew on that. We said what we said, now build on that. You need to digest this, do not rush back. Take it to your life, let it work like that. Real talk, real issues, that is the track. If you felt that truth, you know where we at. Till next time, yeah, chew on that. Follow the movement, subscribe, tap in, we back soon. Chew on that.